Hello and welcome to this tutorial for the flameTracker application. Today I will show you how to use the graphical user interface and the video editing functions for the flameTracker version 1.2 that was recently released. This material is also available on the GitHub page in the Wiki section under video editing. If you need to install and launch the application first, you can check the previous video at the link available in the description. The user interface is conceptually divided in two sections. The one at the top is called Preview Box and is used to control and edit images and videos, while the Analysis box at the bottom changes based on the analysis method that I select, and initially it is empty. The flameTracker can open both images and videos, and in the GitHub repository you can find examples that you can use to replicate what I'm going to do here. I will start from the example video, which shows a flame spreading over a cotton sample. In the experiment, the sample is vertical and the electrical igniter is placed at the top of the sample, so the flame moving from right to left in the video is actually spreading from top to bottom. At the beginning of the video, there is a flashing light used to show the sample surface, and as you can see, the sample does not look like a regular rectangle. And this is because the camera was slightly tilted when it recorded the experiment, and it gave the video a small perspective. So I will need to correct the video before being able to track the flame. I can open a video by clicking on the Open Video button directly from the toolbar, or by using the File menu and selecting Open Video. And then I can select the example video from the dialog window. The video information will appear in the first column of the preview box, and it includes the video size in pixels, the frame rate, the total number of frames, and the video duration. I can use the preview slider on the right to scroll through the video, and this preview will show all the editing that I do. For example, if I want to rotate the video, I can type the angle in degrees in the rotation box and check the result with the preview slider. The rotation is considered positive in a counterclockwise direction, but I can also type a negative number to directly rotate the video in the other direction. In this example video, the camera was not perfectly straight, as you can see from the short edges of the sample that are not fully vertical, so I can correct the video with an angle of -2 degrees, and I can just click on the preview slider to update the video. Before correcting the perspective, I need to specify the actual size of the reference object, which in this case is the sample. The long sides of the sample measured 152 millimeters, so in the horizontal length text box I will type 152. The vertical length, which corresponds to the short size of the sample in the video, was 55 millimeters, so I will type 55 in the other text box. Now I'm ready to correct the perspective, and to do that I will have to click on the four corners of the sample. When I click on the button Correct Perspective, a pop-up window reminds me the click order that I need to follow, and if you don't remember the order, you can check it in the message box as well. The clicks are in the clockwise direction starting from the top right, so we have 1, 2, 3, and 4, and now the perspective is corrected. If for some reason I click on the wrong spot, for example while I'm moving the window of my screen, I can press the Escape keyboard and start over. If I made a mistake with the correction, I can always click on the Restore Original button and all the changes will be discarded. As you can see in the preview window, now the white rectangle indicating the region of interest does not include the entire sample. So I can select a new region by clicking on the Select ROI button, and then I can click on any point in the frame and drag a rectangle with the cursor. If I don't like what I have selected, I can do it again, and when I'm done, I press Enter. In alternative, I can also type the coordinates of the rectangle in the relative boxes, with X, Y being the coordinates of the first point, and the third value W is the width of the ROI and H is the height. An important parameter for video analysis is the number of pixels corresponding to a length scale in the image. If I know a certain distance, for example the length of the sample, I can click on the scale button in the toolbar or the measure menu and then scale. In general, it is better to select the longest distance to increase the accuracy of the scale, so I will use the long side of the sample. I can click on the corners and then type the value in millimeters, which is 152. And now the scale is calculated. With the other options in the measure menu, I can check the coordinates of a specific point or measure the distance between 2 points. These options are available also in the toolbar, and the values will show in the message window. For the reference point, both absolute coordinates as well as the ones relative to the region of interest are shown in the message box, while the length is reported in pixel and millimeters. Now let's take a look at the frame range that I want to consider for my video. I can get an idea by scrolling through the video with the preview slider, and for example, if I'm only interested in the flame after the ignition, I can set the first frame to be 1000. At the end, I could exclude the smoldering of the cotton sample by setting the last frame to 4000. Now the slider would only consider this portion of the video. If I want to check the video at a specific frame, I can type it in the text box here and click on the Go to Frame button. If I select a frame before the first frame, the range will change as well, but for now I will set it back to 1000. The skip frame number is used for the analysis and it will not affect the video preview. At this point, I can save all the values from the preview box by selecting Save Parameters in the File menu or directly from the toolbar. This creates a CSV file that can be later loaded, and a copy of this file is available also in the examples folder on GitHub. The last video editing feature that I wanted to show is the change of brightness and contrast. With these sliders, I can increase or decrease these two parameters, and the numbers on top of the sliders represent the percentage variation. One thing to keep in mind is that if I now click on Restore Original, also the perspective correction will be lost. So before changing the brightness and contrast, it's good to save the parameters. In this case, I can just load the parameters that I just saved, and the perspective gets corrected again. If I want to apply the editing features to the original video, I can click on the File menu and select Export Edited Video. This opens a new window where I can specify the new frame rate and the video format. Here there is a relation to calculate the new frame rate in case I decide to skip some frames, for example. The original frame rate was 30 and I had the default value of 5 for the skipped frames, so if I want to keep the same total duration of the video, I can type the new frame rate as 5. Note that the best combination of codec and format depends on your operating system. When I'm ready, I can click on Next to save the video, and after this step, the user interface will not respond until the process is done. However, I can check the progress from the terminal window, and once it's done, I can check how the new video looks like. So far, I've considered only the example video, but I mentioned that I could have opened images as well. In the examples folder, there are a few pictures from a smoldering experiment of wooden samples. I can open them from the File menu or from the direct button in the toolbar, and after the selection, I need to enter the frame rate used for the image sequence. For example, if I type 1, each image will last for 1 second, and the total duration of the video will be 6 seconds. All the editing features shown for the example video apply to the image sequence as well, with the images basically considered as frames. At this point, I'm ready to start the analysis of the video, and in the next tutorials I will show you how to use the different tracking methods. Thanks for watching this video, and feel free to comment below for any questions or email me at flameTrackerContact@gmail.com.